You are listening to And That's Okay, the podcast devoted to encouraging you to live in your truth in a society where reality is not what's socially popular. This is a community where you can be a novice about anything and feel comfortable about it. Join me as I have the conversations I wish I had years ago and want to hear more of. Nothing is off limits and there is no shame or judgment here. Listen, doing all this self-work is bound to piss a few people off, and that's okay. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Angelique Royale. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed the past few episodes that I have put out for you guys. Definitely the one on holistic health, mental health, even leveraging life. I hope you check those out and got some gems from the people that's been featured on the podcast, the wonderful ladies that I've had so far. And I wanted to come to you today as like a little check-in with you. I want to know how you're doing. Leave me a message, leave me a comment on Instagram. Go to the website, www.angeliqueroyale.com. There's a little box on there to contact us. Let me know how you doing. You've been rocking with me for a good long time, and I appreciate that. If you've just hopped on the podcast, hey, welcome. What's up? Even though, let me know how you're doing. I created this podcast because I wanted to give myself a voice, but also give others a voice on things that they may want to hear more of. And I really want you guys to talk to me. Let me know what you want to learn. If there's anything out there you want to talk about, but you may be too shy, we can keep it between us. I won't tell nobody. I won't let nobody know who gave me this idea. I'm going to just put it out there. And if it aligns with the podcast, I'll let you know if we can do it. But definitely hit me up on Instagram at And That's Okay Podcast. Hit me up on the website. Let me know. Leave a comment if you're listening. And definitely go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review for the podcast. But thank you so much for rocking out with me. I can't believe it's been a year and a half. And I'm using this episode as a way to kind of like check in, let you know what I've been up to, what's been going on with me. Because your girl over the last 6 months has been through a lot. And a lot of self-work, a lot of changing. That's what prompted a lot of my feature episodes, because I wanted to put myself first and self-care first. And I would say that I'm doing so much better now since I have been better taking care of myself. I quit my job 6 months ago over my mental health and just wanting to be valued and loved and just poured into. And I just felt like it was just that time to do it. It was something that I definitely prayed about. It was something that I prepared for. It was not a drastic decision. Don't be out here making drastic decisions without actually thinking things through and understanding the choice you're about to make and how it could affect you, if it can affect anyone else that you're with. But definitely make your decisions with a vision. How do you want to go? Plan it and just take the necessary steps and take your time. That was something that did not happen. I just woke up one morning and was just like, I'm done. It was some time that I took to prepare myself and actually get up the courage to do it, because it was real brave of me. I would have never done that. And 3 years ago, I would have been so scared. But it was something where I tried my hardest to make the best of it, and it was something that I could no longer avoid. So definitely take your time, pray about it. I can say now in hindsight, I am so much better mentally, emotionally. I'm glad that I've done it. And I'm also happier. I've had a little bit more time on my hands. I've been able to spend a little bit more time with family. And right now, that is something that is truly important to me, because tomorrow's not promised. And a lot of these memories you do not get back. And that was something that was one of my life core values when I sat down and figured out what was important to me. And spending time with my family was very important. And definitely being available to say, yes, I can do that. No, I can't do that was so important to me. And I didn't want to choose. And for so long, I chose work over my life. I just no longer wanted to do that. So sometimes you got to take things into your own hands and make those decisions, those hard decisions. But just make sure you have a great support team behind you and people that will support you throughout the way. They may not understand, but as long as they still support you, you can still push forward. Now, with going on with me, I've learned so many lessons within like my marriage, within my relationships, within myself. I've learned so much. And I also just wanted to take a minute and just share a few things that I have learned over the period of my marriage and just also over time of this transition and learning more about myself and just learning other people. So with it about to be 3 years of being married, I have learned how to better navigate myself and my feelings and be able to like take up space, but also give space and grace. Because what I've learned is that I can be growing, my husband can be growing, but we may not be growing at the same pace. So I have to give a little bit of grace to say, you're growing. I see you're growing. It may not be as fast as I want it to be. You know, we all had this time of like, we want it right now. We want it instant. But it's like, no, I'm giving you this grace because I see that you're growing. You're going in the right direction. I may be moving faster because it's me. And I have to realize that I can't put me on you. And I give you this grace without taking from myself. And that's something that was so huge and such a breakthrough for me to understand in therapy. Is like, you won't grow at the same time or even at the same pace. And it's like everyone has their different seasons that you go through. And sometimes you don't even realize that you went through a season until after you come out of that season and be like, yo, like, I really was going through that at that time. And that was something that was a huge breakthrough for me to realize that and to give my husband that grace and also for him to give me that grace. And I just like watching how much we have grown over the years, just being married and going forward of how much he's grown and how much I've grown. It's just like we are totally not the same people we were when we first met. We're not the same people we were when we got married 3 years ago. We're not even the same people we were a year ago. Like, we've just grown, and it's just crazy that when you take a minute and you actually reflect on life and you think about it and you talk about it and you be like, wow, that's so crazy. Like, you remember when you used to do this? Like, you don't even do that no more. Like, you've both grown so much and understand each other a little bit more. And, you know, as you go through experiences and things like that, that's going to change you too. It's definitely going to change you as well. And like my transition into becoming a wife was hard for me in the beginning. I didn't really have an understanding of what type of wife I wanted to be. I knew what society claimed type of wife you should be, but I never really thought about what that looks like for me. And now it's something that I'm really focusing on and trying to understand myself, what being a wife looks like. What type of wife do I want to be, feel comfortable? What do I excel at? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? I can be this, I can be that, I can't be that, but here's a compromise. Like, it's so many things that like now, since I have the time and I've cleared my mind of so much, that I'm really thinking about it so that I can be a better wife for my husband. Thinking, what type of wife do I want to be? Let me communicate this. We got to communicate, y'all. Let me sit down and communicate this with my husband to make sure that his needs are being met. And to also make sure that my needs are being met, because they both matter. And that's something that has been so huge for me, because I was never a person that would talk about my needs or talk about my wants. It was just one of those like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Not realizing I was taking for myself. So now I speak up. I don't allow society or social media to project on me or to tell me what type of wife that I should be. I'm going to figure out what type of wife I want to be, and I'm going to continue to grow because it's going to change. It's something that I can't control because change is inevitable. When I decide to become a mother, that's a different part of me. As the kids grow, that's a different part of me. As we grow older and we get into our 40s and our 50s, that are different versions of me. When we go through success and life changes and all that's going to change me, so I would have to constantly revise my wife role, because I would have to change it to the season that I am in. And if you're a wife and you're listening and you're struggling with, I wouldn't even say struggling with marriage, but struggling with trying to figure out what type of wife you want to be, or the wife role you feel like is a little tough because you like, I don't want to do what society is telling me to do, blah, blah, blah. Sit down and have a conversation with your husband and really talk about how you feel. That would take a lot of weight off your shoulder, and take the time to adjust. It is not an overnight thing. You have agreed to be a wife for the rest of your life, and you have all that time to figure it out, and it is going to change as seasons happen. It's going to change. You're going to change. What you used to do last year, you might not do this year, but as long as you're able to communicate it, the only person's opinion that matters is God and your husband's. Those are the only two opinions that matter, is your God and your husband. And it's something where you just have to be okay spiritually with what you're doing and just continue to be the best that you can. There's still no rule book out here for being married. It's not. I'm also one of those people where in this transition, in this season in my life, where I'm learning how to keep my mouth shut and allowing other people to show me how they want to show up in my life. Now, I got to this point where a closed mouth don't get fed, so I was like, I became real talkative. And then I got to the point of like, I'm being real talkative, but this is still not working. And I got to a point where I was like, I need to shut up. How about I shut up and just watch? How about I go back to just observing? Everyone used to be like, you so quiet, because I used to watch people and just observe to see if, this could work. And I was like, let me go back and allow people to show me who they are. When Maya Angelou says, when they show you, believe them. And believe them. Like, you can't change nobody. They can change themselves. You can only control yourself. You can't control anybody else. So when they show you who they are, believe them and move accordingly. That's how I'm going. Just moving accordingly. Also, what has been putting me into a great space over the last, I would say, couple months is that I have been working on my spirituality. So I did the previous episode about holistic care, and I understand that now that it is your whole you, holistic whole. So that's spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, intellectually. All of those things make up you as a person as a whole. And I got the urge to really work on my spiritual side. And with doing that, it has been an amazing journey for me. And I've been doing it by taking my time and getting closer to God and actually reading His Word and reading the Bible. My mom has always made sure I had a Bible in the house. Always. But I wasn't one of those people who would open it. It was in there. It was out. I made sure it was visible, but I didn't really open it. And then not too long ago, I had this urge in my spirit to open it. Because like you got the Bible app on your phone, but it's something about actually like reading it in a book and getting out of your phone. And after like a few weeks of doing that consistently every day, and the way I do it every day, let me just draw the picture for you. I get up in the morning and I start my mornings with God. I go to the Bible app, I look at the verse of the day, and I'll open it in the Bible and I'll listen to it on the Bible app, but I'll also read the full chapter in the Bible to get more context for myself to kind of understand a little bit better. And doing that for a few weeks consistently, I realized that I was calmer, my days were better. I was no longer beating myself up for not being productive. That was something that was so life-changing for me, because I was just like, wait a minute, this is the best I've felt in so long. And it encouraged me to continue. Now, I don't get up, as some people get up 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I don't get up that early. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I just make sure it's the first thing that I do before I start my day. And it allows me to set the tone. I'm calmer throughout the day. I'm more rationalizing my day. Sometimes I do fall off. I be getting a little distracted. Ain't nobody out here perfect. But it's something where if anything was to happen, I'm thinking through the solution and like, should I react to this? Should I not react to this? Do I want to consume this? Do I not want to consume this? It has brought so much clarity and awareness to me that it makes me happier. I wanted to share that with y'all because wherever you're at spiritually, whatever religion you have, background, just definitely tap into your spirituality and make that a priority. I feel like it just does something where it just makes you feel good. It's like a good feeling that you're not gonna get from anything physical. And I just want you to explore that. You don't have to do what I do. Find what works for you. But my mornings with God has definitely changed. And I don't say I spend all morning. Sometimes I do get caught up and get a little lost and be reading. I'm like, oh my goodness, like what? I'm not at a point where I feel like I know what I'm doing, but I am being intentional about my relationship with God. And the more I do it over time, I will figure it out and He will show me what more I need to do or how I need to approach things when it comes to our relationship. And it's something that has changed me greatly. And I just want you to definitely work on your spiritual side and make sure that is intact too. That will help with mental. I feel like sometimes things have like a ripple effect. Whereas though if you start at the top, then everything kind of flows down. So for me, I felt like spiritually getting that together will allow it to overflow in the rest of my life. And then I would start doing this better. I would start acting this way better. I would start, taking better care of my health, taking better care of my physical, taking better care of my emotional, my mental, the people around me. It's something that for me has me in a feel good feeling because I'm like the type of person that likes to be joyous and likes to spread love. I like to make people happy. I like to be around people and they feel good around me. I don't want to bring negative energy. I don't want to be around negative energy. And that's something for me. I was like, I really wanted to understand His word too and understand what He wants us to be. And like, God just wants us to be happy, full of joy, loving, forgiving. Don't hold none of these grudges and stuff in your heart. Clear your heart, clear your mind. A lot of people are moving in the flesh, and a lot of people are just doing things based on what they're going through, and it's not always the best, but just lead with grace. And I say all that to say, definitely look at your spiritual side. Just have something that keeps you grounded, that has a way for you to follow that keeps you in good spirits. Because it has helped me, and I just wanted to share that with you. I'm just out here making an educated guess with my life and just doing the best that I can and enjoying the process at the same time. Life is truly different for me now, and I'm excited for what's in store for me and what my future holds. It's something that I don't know, but the suspense keeps me excited and happy about it. And I understand that there will be some good times and there will be some bad times, but I'm going to always choose to be happy and just always try to find the silver lining of things. And I leave you with that. I really enjoy talking to you guys and getting the feedback and being able to help anybody or encourage anybody. But I understand that this is also like an audio diary for me too. And I'm glad that I'm sharing this with you. And I appreciate you for listening to this episode. I hope it has helped you in some type of way. Or if any of the episode have helped you in any type of way, that is simply my mission, is just to help somebody. As long as it's just one person, I wish you the best. I am sending love, kindness, and grace your way, and letting you know that it is okay. I'll talk to you on the next episode.